Thank you for visiting Mr. Shoe Guy here on YouTube. Hey, it's Robert, Mr. Shoe Guy. Today's video is on storage and organization. How can you keep from going crazy with your inventory? Well, I've been doing this for probably about a year, 2 years now. Somewhere in there, it's been a long time. And I can tell you one thing, I'm not going crazy anymore. The first 3 to 6 months were insane. As I started to ramp up my business and get more inventory and more inventory, I did not know what I was doing. I just kept buying. And in my house, I had shoes, and boots. I had all of this stuff everywhere, and I had no organizational structure to keep me from going crazy. But as I learned with making mistakes, getting returns, being late with my shipping, I learned quickly. I said, you know what? I gotta get something better in place here. And so as I started to hone my process, I developed a quite efficient process that leaves me not going crazy anymore. Step number 1 was to get all of the items out of my house. Now I probably have, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 15 pairs in my house at any given time. But when I first started, I had 200, 300 pairs of shoes in my place, and it took over my apartment, and it kind of took over my life, and I just didn't want that. So number 1 piece of advice, get the stuff out of your house as soon as you can. When you bring it in, you want to photograph it as soon as possible, and then once it's photographed, you don't need it around you anymore. Put it in a box and get it out of your house. It's best if you, and if you can't get it out of your house, let's be honest, not everybody can, you know, limit it to one room and organize the hell out of it. Keep that room organized. If you just got a room and you don't have, you know, money for a storage space, or you don't want to, get a room and keep it as organized as you possibly can. Basically what I do is, I did pay for a storage space. It's part of my apartment. I go downstairs, there's a storage space. It's like basically a garage for all intents and purposes. If I'd rather use it as a garage, I could just put my car in there. But instead, I choose to park on the street, and I use it as my storage space. And it's locked, and just, you know, it's tough to get into. So what I do is, I take my shoes, I box them, and I put them into my storage space. And at that point, what I do is, when I'm in that storage space, I will organize the shoes in the boxes in an alphabetical structure. So that way, if I walk into my storage space at any given time, I know where I can find a given brand. Because I stick with a certain number of brands that I really mess with, and I'm not just selling any and every brand, it makes it very easy for me. So if I know I'm selling Johnston & Murphy, I'm selling Allen Edmonds, Nike, I just organize it A, B, C, D, E, all the way over to Z, and it's very crystal clear where things are because of the alphabetical structure. So I know that if I'm walking in and I'm on my left side, I'm going to see A through, you know, G. If I'm walking into my right side, I know I'm going to see, you know, P through Z. So you got to kind of get an organizational structure based off of what your business is based on. So for me personally, I know what I can find. I can know where I can find it. If I'm on the A side and I'm looking at, you know, Allen Edmonds, and I have 10 pairs of Allen Edmonds, all I have to do to make it easier for myself is to label each box with certain little things. Like, oh, this is the green pair of shoes, or this is the one that's size 23, or, you know what I'm saying? So it's certain things that's going to cue your head to remember, okay, this is what this pair is. And if it's really that hard, you can just pull it out, because, you know, you're probably not going to have 300 pairs of the same shoe. So again, just make things easier for yourself by maybe organizing by brands. That's basically how I do it. Keep it out of my house. I photograph as soon as I get the pairs of shoes. Once I photograph them, I get them out of my house. Again, I put them in a storage space, a designated storage space where I don't have to look at the inventory all day long. And when I alphabetize it, so that way when I go into my storage space, I can find it at the moment of, you know, at the drop of a hat, and at that moment I can go take the item to the shipping facility. So that's basically it. I know people had some questions. This was a big reader question that I've gotten a lot. I wanted to make sure that I did my best in answering it, but that's how you stay sane. You get the stuff away from where you live, and you know, you make sure that you keep an organizational structure. It's all about getting a process down. Hopefully you like this video. Hopefully I gave you some good tips. I hope y'all take care and you have a great day. Thanks again for visiting Mr. Shoe Guy here on YouTube. If you haven't already, make sure to check out www.mrshoeguy.com and grab a copy of my book, 50 Brands to Buy and Why, Flipping Men's Footwear for Profit. This book is going to put money in your pocket. You'll spend 40 bucks, but you can make your money back after one flip. I have flipped hundreds of shoes here on YouTube. Make sure to buy this book. You can make your money back in one flip.